Okay, so today we're going to be talking about the transform scratch. Now, if we think of transforms more in the terms of a technical method rather than a collection of patterns, so it's not something like... although that is technically a type of transform, but then so is this. And so is that. Yeah, and the similarities between all of those techniques is that they started in closed fader positions. So what's going on the fader hand is that you're moving, well, on the record hand you're moving the record forward and backwards in different ways, pitching it up and down. And on the fader hand, you're starting in a closed state, so there's a light pressure on the thumb to close the fader, and your fingers are tapping the fader open, but then your thumb, because there's light pressure there, it gently closes the fader again straight after a click, and that has the effect of creating quite a choppy sound where you hear a little bit of the record. You hear that sort of a kind of a sound. Yeah, so when you're first learning transforms, I think it's important to try to put put the majority of your focus onto the record side, just so that you can concentrate on keeping a regular tempo. So I mean, obviously when you're scratching over music, you want to be on time a lot. If you start to go off with transforms as well, they can sound pretty terrible pretty quickly. So I mean, we'll give an example of scratching to a beat with a regular tempo. Yeah, so I mean, most of what you want to be concentrating on until you've got it down is the fader hand. Just kind of learning to have a very consistent fader motion, because if you go off with them, like, I mean, it can sound pretty messy. But yeah, so yeah, it's worth noting that you want to be really kind of getting that fader motion down by you can do exercises like, for example, I mean, what I showed in the other video with the transform chirps. You get one sound forward, one sound backwards, and you click in twice. And then, yeah, you can do exercises like keeping that kind of, trying to keep that pattern going with a very kind of tight sound. So this sort of thing. Yeah, as long as you have that kind of regular momentum of clicks, no matter how fast you're going, as long as it's regular, then and it's to the beat that you're scratching over, then you're on the right track. Now there's other things you can do in terms of, I mean, yeah, another exercise you could do for gaining this record motion would be to do things like 4 sounds forward, 4 sounds back. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So, yeah, and once you get that kind of rhythm down, then you can start doing things like playing with space. So you keep the record closed for a certain amount of time and then open it and do the kind of stuff. So it's things like this. I mean, that's yeah, a way of playing with space in the clicks. Yeah. So I guess yeah, the record side is really important as well. To get sort of pitch melodic variations with your transforms, so you can kind of slow the record down. Yeah, and speed it up. And then there's things like with tasers where you kind of you turn the platter off and you're flinging the record with a finger. And you can put transforms over that. Yeah, and then I mean there's things like dicing as well, which are important, which also is very kind of record side intensive. So once you've got tears down, then you can put tears over transforms, and people call that dicing. So it's stuff like this. So under that transform pattern then is a group of different sorts of reverse tears. So it's like. So yeah, and then you can do it with clover tears as well. So you have like. And yeah, and the clicks. Well, the click motions, they're at the points where a tear would be. You know, so if you think of a tear, a reverse tear has 3 points. It has the forward motion, then a back and a back. So the clicks would be at the end of the forward motion, then back, and then back again. And it's the same with clovers. It has four kind of points, and those are the points where you click simultaneously. And then I guess finally, yeah, things like if you think of transforms as a type of technical method, you using a closed. Yeah, you're closing the fader with your thumb. Yeah, you can do things like kind of say if you've learnt crabs. You can learn crabs in a closed form or an open form. An open form of a crab would be a closed form, which would be with the transforms, is where you've got the thumb, light pressure on the thumb, and then you're doing the same motion to get a kind of a tighter rhythm. And it's the same with like 2-click orbits. If you wanted to do 2-click orbits normally, if you want to do them in a transform, then you have light pressure on the thumb and you do the same motion. And yeah, same with freeze. Okay, hopefully that'll sort of help you out. Bye!